The Global Scholars Network on Identity and Conflict, the GSNIC initiative, is an attempt to bring together people from all around the world with expertise of various kinds from different academic disciplines, from different bits of practitioner experience, to try to see how can we deal with the big challenges we face globally in terms of conflict, in terms of identity politics, in ways that are practical as well as academic.
This conference has been such an amazing opportunity to bring together practitioners, academics, and then people who kind of fall in this really interesting, messy middle. And it's been amazing to see all of the synergies across different contexts. So you have people who, of course, being here in Belfast, are specialists in Northern Ireland, other people who study Bosnia, Lebanon, Pakistan, and to see the number of commonalities in their approaches and their findings has been super, super interesting.
So when we're looking at transitional justice museums, the question my collaborators and I have been asking are about what are the effects of visiting a museum of this type on visitors. Namely, are people who visit these museums seeing things somewhat differently after being exposed to the materials in the museums? Are they actually changing people's minds or persuading them and perhaps like approaching them in their views, still promoting reconciliation?
Basically, what I'm interested in is how, from each generation to the next, how we transfer our narratives, our stories that can be divisive, that can be polarizing, which help to generate a sense of in-group identity that includes, but which also ultimately excludes. And so I'm interested in looking at how those stories are passed on through different generations, be that through the word, be that through murals, commemorations, and things like that. So I'm just wanting to look at then how we can disrupt those processes in a sense. So how we look at history in a slightly more engaged way, in a more reflective way.
So the conflict in Bosnia from 1992 to 1995 basically captured the entire country, and post 1995, after the implementation of the Dayton Peace Agreement, you have a more or less a violent-free environment, if you could use that term. So there was no big reversal to violence once the power-sharing arrangement was implemented, which gives you sort of almost 3 decades of post-war peace. And within this peace, you can actually study how institutions were implemented and how they were transformed throughout basically an entire generation of politicians and voters trying to work within the system.
My research looks at the local dimension of post-conflict peace building and really governance more broadly. So I look at how local institutions like municipalities, municipal councillors, how they interact with their own constituents and with the central state to provide governance goods, basic things like road service, electricity, trash collection, particularly in post-conflict settings.